Welcome, everybody, to Inside the Cardinal Playbook, the coach's show for William Jewell College football, and another late second win. Tim Crone, the Cardinals' Brandon Womack hits a field goal to beat Lincoln University with no time left on the clock. Maybe not as exciting as the past few wins we've had with Brandon kicking the last field goal, simply because it was a situation where we blew a big lead.
Yeah, we blew a big lead, but it was the third time that he's won a ball game with his foot. Like I said, anybody who wears pink shoes better be able to finish the deal. But I thought, it was a game we should have won, and we did win. I would have felt terrible if we hadn't won. I thought we played well at times, but I've yet to see William Jewell play 4 quarters or 2 good halves, and I think I'll talk to Coach about that a little bit when we have the session with him.
We have one more game coming up. It's on the road at Rapid City, South Dakota School of Mines and Technology. And Tim will be visiting with Shawn Weigel, the head coach, about the Lincoln game and about the final game of the year when we come back in a moment on Inside the Cardinal Playbook.
If you're in a collision, why call Wickman's Car Star and we will walk you all the way through it. We do have a 24/7. That means that we have a live person on the telephone 24/7 and they will help you. CarStar nationally has a motto that is relax, we'll take it from here. That means in most CarStars you can come in and it's a one-stop shop, locally owned and nationally guaranteed.
I'm Jesse Limekiller, the CEO of Belvoir Winery. You can reach us at www.belvoirwinery.com. We grow Norton, Chamberson, Vignole, and Muscat on the site. We have mature vines, 7 to 10 years of age behind the buildings, and then we have 2 new vineyards that have just started up. We have a full bar available, and then in addition, a lot of people like to wander around the property. You can take your drinks and wander through the property and see all the things that there are to see on site. My name is Jesse Limekiller, CEO of Belvoir Winery, 110 years in the making.
Cardinal fans, welcome to this segment of Inside the Cardinal Playbook. And you're ready to talk to our coach. It's 4-4 in the conference, and that's the way we end the season. But, man, it was an up-and-down game at Lincoln this past Saturday.
Yeah, it really was. It was one we came out and played really well the first half, and then gave them a little bit of momentum when we got there with a minute left, and they drove down and got that touchdown there right before halftime. And they have some good players. Anytime you give them some momentum and get them excited, especially on senior day, that kind of turned the tide a little bit.
Yeah, you really and we kind of break it up. And again, I still don't think that the William Jewell Cardinals were played 4 good quarters or 2 good halves. You want to talk about that a little bit too, because consistency wasn't there again on Saturday.
You're absolutely right, and that you couldn't be more right, actually. And that's where, if I'm disappointed, that's one thing I'm disappointed in. You can take a football game and break it down however you want, and when you look at it, the amount of time spent actually playing is 6 to 7 minutes, depending on the number of actual action, and can we not do that? 6 to 7 minutes. Time it. That's what it is. And I wish I knew exactly what was going on sometimes in our head. Do I have to tell you to focus every time? Is that the motivation you need, or do we just throw the two together and call it MOCUS? Motivation and focus. And that's something.
I like that. MOCUS might be the way to go.
MOCUS. Yep. And so that's something. Just a constant reminder, and hopefully you mature through those things, and you don't have to it's kind of like coaching the obvious. Hey, catch the ball. Well, yes, if you're a receiver, we shouldn't have to coach the obvious,
right.
Things of that nature. We shouldn't have to, focus on this.
Yeah.
It's all part of doing your job, and that's I guess that's why it's kind of the ultimate team sport. Is that,
well, it really is.
You got to have 11 guys doing what they're supposed to be doing.
All the spokes in the wheel have to be turning at the same time, and if you don't, you're not going to be successful. No doubt about that.
Doubt.
A lot of good individual performance, so you had to be pleased with several of the guys. You want to throw a couple names out because they did a good win in the conference.
Yeah. If we weren't to, and we did, we've talked about as coach staff, our players of the week. Nick Messer was really, really solid.
He had a good game again, didn't he?
Really for us defensively. So he was our defensive player of the week. Our offensive player of the week was Thomas Cook. We had that fumble there in the back. I don't even know if we got much of the exchange, just the way that guy jumped the snap count. But Thomas had a good game. And then special teams player of the week was Clay Stolze. And I think he made every tackle tackle and kickoff.
He did.
Coverage, so
He did. You know, while he was in the ball game, he had to play safety because we're a little thin back there, and of course he'd have to set the first half. But he really is a good special teams player.
no doubt.
He's done a good job.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, there was a lot of good things again, and that's what we've seen all year long. And we'll come back in this next segment and talk a little bit about our last opponent. Won't be a conference game. Like I said, we finished 4-4, but it's important to finish with a win, and you're looking at a club that's pretty comparable to us, so we'll get back here. That ends this segment of Inside the Cardinal Playbook.
In the Great Lakes Valley Conference,
We are 16 NCAA Division II institutions.
comprised of 5,500 student athletes.
More than 50,000 students.
Yet when one of us becomes a victim of sexual assault,
It's on us. All of us.
It's our responsibility
to be there
for her.
For him.
Anyone can be a victim.
Everyone can be a solution.
It's on us.
It's on us.
To stand up, not stand by.
In the GLBC, we stand together. Because when you are a victim of sexual assault,
no one should stand alone.
it's on us.
it's on us.
It's on us.
It's on us.
16 schools,
One conference.
Looking out.
For one another.
Cardinal fans, welcome back to this segment of Inside the Cardinal Playbook. And Coach, we're going to talk about our last game of the year. We're going up to Rapid City, South Dakota, which is no short trip. And we're going to play School Mines up there, 5-5. They play all over the country. They're in that Northwest something conference in Oregon, Canada, Washington, Arkansas, Missouri. You know, you can go California. They play, you know, all the teams out there. I'm familiar with one opponent, which was Black Hill State. They played earlier in the year, but they're 5-5. Very comparable. You look at some of the statistics and stuff to us. What do you look at as a staff going up there to play?
You know, they started off really well. I think it was kind of a turnaround season for them. They were 5-2 at one point, and I think got a little bit into the injury bug. And you know, they're similar to us, and you know, the depth can get you if you don't keep the right players healthy.
Right.
And it's just a point where we are in our program is that our depth is not where we need it to be yet. It's something that'll be addressed, but I think that's where they are, and that's what's similar between us now. That you know, if we had some key injuries, you know, we might be looking a little bit different too. But that the past 3 weeks they've been beaten, and you know, and we see some different players on film than what might be on the 2 deep from earlier in the year.
Right.
What we saw.
Well, they're still scoring a lot of points, though.
Yeah.
I noticed that. You know, they've been getting beat defensively. They're giving up a lot now the last 3 weeks. But offensively, you know, you look throughout the season, they've been pretty consistent and been able to score.
Yeah. Yep, and we'll have a good plan for them up there, and I think we'll get a couple players back hopefully this week on the defensive side that will provide a little more depth and be able to rep some fresh guys on the defensive line, and you know, it is what it is this time of the season.
It sure is.
I mean, it's hey, who's going to show up, and when we show up practice, that's who we're playing with. So.
Yeah, that's true, and that's exactly where it's at. You know, a lot of the Cardinal fans will be interested about how you travel. This is a different deal because it's a long trip. I know you're going to leave Thursday. Why don't you just tell the Cardinal fans your procedure, and there's a lot of organization that goes into that.
Yeah, and I'm grateful I don't have to do that. Coach Mann is our travel coordinator, and it's arguably the worst job anyone can have.
Oh, it is. I've been there, and I know you've been
there.
I
did it at West Texas.
Yeah.
And when you're relying on other people to get 75 people fed or you know, back on the bus, all those different things. But yeah, we'll leave here. We'll actually get up early Thursday morning and get our practice in before we take off, as opposed to spending a couple hours practicing somewhere else. It's a long enough trip, and I never use the length of a trip as an excuse. I think that's kind of weak when that happens because we travel comfortably. We're in 2 buses with Wi-Fi and direct TV, and
yeah, it's pretty nice gig.
Yeah, and you know, we'll leave here and we'll stop in Omaha eat a big buffet there at Harrah's, and then head on to Mitchell that evening, and we've got a nice setup there, and the next day we'll get up and have breakfast there and give them a sandwich for lunch because we're going to roll over and that afternoon do our walkthrough at Mines, and then from there go down and see Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, a lot of the kids probably some of them haven't seen it.
Yeah,
it's a great thing to see.
Yeah, and they may never have the opportunity, so I know they enjoy that. But then we'll come back and we have a 1 o'clock kickoff, and then we'll get home at 5 in the morning, and I've got a conference call at 7 a.m. for the regional rankings. So
it's just the way it works.
Yeah, it is.
Not much sleep during football season. But a lot of people think you just get on a bus and go play and come back, and it's a lot of work to it. It really is. Yeah. Well, Coach, I'm looking forward to the last game of the year. Like to see us get with a non-conference game. We did finish 4-4 in the conference, but it's big in a lot of ways. Recruiting, just feeling good about coming out of the season and that type of thing. So good luck to you and the Cardinals, and looking forward to that trip. It should be fun, and we'll be up there with the presidents to see how it works. Okay. All right.
Thank you.
That ends this segment of Inside the Cardinal Playbook.
What if I told you there are people that sell products to help people? Real people. Not because they have to, but because they feel like they should. What if I told you they sell water to dig wells for the thirsty? Cereal to feed the hungry? Paper towels to plant trees to renew the earth? What if I told you that a simple potato helps fund community gardens so people can grow their own food? What if I told you that this was Hy-Vee, and they do it because it's the right thing? Discover how Hy-Vee is taking big steps to make the world a better place, one step at a time.
Back inside the Cardinal Playbook, you've heard from Shawn Weigel and Tim talking about the Lincoln game, one thing as we wrap up the conference at 4-4, but now non-conference game in Rapid City, South Dakota. Very long trip, as you guys talked about, but a real chance for the Cardinals to make a statement to close the year.
Yeah, you want to finish the season on a real positive taste in your mouth, and it's also good for recruiting. We were 5-6 last year. We have the opportunity to be 5-6 this year. Had a good showing, a decent showing in the conference, and building the program the direction we want to go. And this is going to be an even ball game. You look at the scores and the type of teams that will be playing this coming Saturday. I look for it to be a real even ball game, and it's a really important one for William Jewell.
Last time we played there, the Cardinals won. I believe it was a fairly easy win for them. It's about a 10.5-hour drive from Kansas City to Rapid City. And so, as you mentioned, the team leaves at around noon on Thursday. We'll also be leaving. We'll have the play-by-play coverage. Mountain time, it's a 1 o'clock start. That means Central Standard Time, it's a 2 o'clock start. And we'll be on the air on the William Jewell College Sports Network starting at 1:30 Central Standard Time this Saturday for the final football game of the year. For Tim Crone, I'm Rick Cole. Thanks to Shawn Weigel and to our director, Julia Parker. You've been watching Inside the Cardinal Playbook.